Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Eric Haber, Coach Eric Haber. You can call me Eric, call me Haber, whatever. And we're going to be going over the games from this weekend. And for those of you that don't remember me from, well, you maybe some of you remember me from last year. I coached a couple of games with you guys, but for those of you who didn't watch the last video, we're going to be doing some analysis of your games, both from a team perspective and from an individual perspective. For those of you that don't know me, I used to coach Lightning teams for quite a long time. It seems like a long time, wasn't that long. And Chris was my skills trainer. And when my son went to college and I stopped coaching, head coaching, whatever, I decided I want to help Chris out. So I'm in charge of doing these huddle uploads and statistical analysis of the games so that, mostly for coaches, but also so the players and even parents can understand kind of what we look for in good shots, what we think are bad shots, and how to kind of improve the team and how to improve everybody's individuals. Now, sometime down the road, you'll be able to use this for recruiting if that's the path you guys end up taking. But for now, we're going to focus on the basketball part, and it's kind of neat. Like, you can click through some of these links and see highlights of yourselves or of the kids or of the players or whatever. But what we're going to be focusing on are kind of key metrics and key numbers that we want you guys to be striving for, so that you get used to making, good decisions, good basketball plays. Now, this is very, very strange, this first game. I want to figure out what's going on here. As a matter of fact, we're going to get back to this game because this one's a little confusing to me. We're going to start with this game against the Whiz Kids. And I want to remind everybody the different goals that we're looking for and the three categories. One, effective field goal percentage. For your age group, specifically for your age group, for the tournaments that I know Chris wants you guys to be competing in, you need to be shooting for an effective field goal percentage of about 45%. Okay? And that should be as an individual game basis and overall as a team. Turnover rate. We want to keep this below 20%. Okay. And offensive rebound percentage, we want this, if possible, to be over 30, which means of the shots that you missed and you have the chance to get an offensive rebound, you get about 30% of it. So if we could just keep trying to get these numbers, that would be great. And then if we don't get them, we could try to figure out what about our scheme or what about our approach might be flawed that we can maybe improve upon. Maybe nothing's flawed. Maybe you guys just have to get better and get to the gym. But what types of shots should you be taking at the gym when you go into practice? And these are things that we got to think about. So Whiz Kids, we lost by a lot. And as a result, I would expect the effective field goal percentage to not be that good. And it's not, but it's not that it's atrocious, I have to say. Like 42.5% is not that bad, okay, for your age group. I'd love it to be 50, obviously, but 45%, I think, is a reasonable number to keep you competitive in these games. Problem here, I think, was that, well, the opponent was 53%, so that hurts. And your offensive rebound percentage was 15, so you got beat on the glass like quite a bit. The next thing we like to look at again is the shot chart for all of these games. And what we are trying to accomplish is to figure out whether you're taking the most efficient shots. And fortunately, this shot chart is a perfect example of what not to do, okay? What you need to be focusing in on at your age even is limiting your shots to either layups or threes, okay? Yes, even at your age, these mid-range shots are inherently bad value, to take a numerical term, take a statistical term. You guys only make these at about 35%, and you only get 2 points for shooting them when they go in. So these shots are really poor. And over the next couple of years, you should be conditioning yourself to just stop taking. From here, out here at three-point land, you guys, if you're any good at all, you should be shooting about 33% anyway. And considering that they give you 3 points for each one, then you're averaging 1 point every time you take them. So why on earth would you take a shot that's worth 2 points when you only make it 38% of the time anyway? when you could take a shot that's worth 3 points and make it 33%, right? So that's why you got to get rid of all of these bad twos. You could take a look at some individuals here. Let's do that. Individual statistics for this game. Overall, let's take a look. So Noah was 0 for 5 from 3. That's not great. Aiden was 0 for 4 from 3, and that's not great. Jake and Nick had a very nice game from 3. That was good. Let's take a look at some turnovers. Turnover rate. 9 turnovers from Noah is not going to work. 8 turnovers from Jake is not going to work. And I know that they were very athletic or whatever. You're just going to have to do better. Like if you're going to, listen, if you're going to compete with teams like this, I mean, 9 turnovers and 8 turnovers is just not going to fly. So as coaches, let's figure this out. Like, how do we break the press better? How do we deal with pressure a little bit better? Maybe we drill it better in practice. Maybe we scheme it a little better, but these numbers can be very, very useful. Okay. Let's go on to the next game, which was, again, we're going to get back to this beast game. Let's get to this game where you guys won. This was on Sunday, 49-40. Let's take a look at the stats here. And actually, your effective field goal percentage wasn't that great. It was 39%. And usually that's not good enough to win these games. So you're going to have to improve this a little bit. It turns out the other team was only 30%. They were really, really awful. So you were able to get away with this, but you shouldn't rest on your laurels, because if you continue to shoot this way, you're not going to beat, the better teams like ever. Offensive rebound percentage, excellent, 34%. And your turnover rate was below 20, so not bad. We'll take a look at the shot chart here. Again, we're going to use the PSAC game. And what we're doing is we're counting the bad twos. 2, 4, 5, 6. We'd like to keep the bad twos less than 10% of the overall shots. So with that said, it was a little poor, and it contributed to the relatively poor effective field goal percentage. When we do statistics by athlete, let's see how you guys did in this win. Hey, Nick, 4 for 9 from 3. Nice. Jake, another struggle. Got to get in the gym, because I know you can make these. I mean, I know that over time you're going to be above 33%, but you just got to, make sure your form is not eradicating. What I do like is that you do have the right people taking the things. Like Noah, I don't know if you're much of a 3-point shooter. I don't know. Maybe you are. But I like it when Nick takes them. I like it when Jake takes them. But again, what do I know? All right, let's go on to the last game, or not the last time I want to talk about it. It's weird, this Beasts game. It says you lost 70-41. And when I look at the stats here, I mean, let's take a look. Overall, it says you lost 41 for 70, but how? You had an effective field goal percentage of 50%. I mean, it's not bad, right? Oh, I know what it is. Oh, goodness. All right, so this is the deal. 31% turnover rate. This is not going to work. And unfortunately, this is what I see in these 10th grade games or 9th grade games. Sometimes you play these teams that are just really athletic and you can't face the pressure. And that's going to lead to results like this. And what happens is when you give up the ball, not 31% of the time, but you have a turnover rate of 31%, you give up way too many shots to the other team. So you could be good enough, 9 of 18 from 2, 50% from there, 4 for 12 from 3, 33%. This is an effective field goal percentage of 50%, which is perfectly fine. But you take a look at the opponent here. I mean, they didn't have that much better than you, 51% effective field goal percentage, but they didn't turn the ball over. They ended up getting 55 total shots, where you ended up getting 30. Oops. You know what I mean? Like that, you just can't win like that. Okay. And this is what's kind of cool about this, as we pull the shot chart up, is that doing these analyses allows you to figure out what's going on, even if, now listen, you might say that of course, you notice this on the court, but maybe not. Let's take a look at your shot chart from this game. Shot chart, not bad. Again, only five. Oh, wait a minute. Five bad twos out of 30. I'd love it less than 10%, but what I'd really like is for you to get more than 30 shots. How do you do that? By not turning the ball over. So again, you use these numbers to then create your scheme a little better. We have to create something that will allow the guards to have some protection and to not be in the position of having to turn the ball over so much. So got to really think about that. We'll take a look at some individuals from this game as well. This is the Beast game, yep. That's like too bad because you actually shot the ball okay. You just didn't get a chance to. You just didn't get a chance to shoot it enough. Jake 2 for 5 from 3, not bad. Nick, well, that was from 2, sorry. Jake 2 for 5 from 3, not bad. Nick, struggled a little bit, but overall, you'll get your 33% plus. But again, this game was all about the turnovers. Then what you could do is you could then do this for the whole season. And I can remind you of things to kind of look for. As individuals, what I need you to be able to do is to either shoot 50% from 2, right? 2% field goal percentage. So far, we have 3 people that could do that. Or 33% from 3. And so far, we have 2 people that could do that, although this is kind of a tough sample size. And Jake kind of I know that over time you'll get there. But Aiden, you got to improve, But Nick, this is a good start for you, to say the least. If you can do both, if you guys can get both 50% from 2 and 33% from 3, that's very rare. But I think maybe one of you can do it. We'll see. And then you could look at the shot chart from the whole season. You could look at, check this out, the whole team for the season, 45% effective field goal percentage. So overall, you're kind of right on track. But where are we missing? Turnover rate. So this is the thing you guys are going to have to work on. Rebounds. Now, both these things sort of have to do with athleticism. But, even if sometimes the other team's more athletic than you have to figure out a way to break this pressure. And you're going to have to figure out a way to improve the offensive rebound percentage. And you can do that without just saying, oh, just get more rebounds or get bigger or whatever. You could send more guys at the rim. You could stress weak side rebounding or whatever. But overall, you guys listen, this age group is tough. You might run into teams that are just extremely athletic and you won't be able to do anything. But what you have to at least focusing on is making good shots, open threes and layups, okay? And try your best to create something to keep these turnovers to a minimum. And we'll continue to track this throughout the course of the season. And I'm looking forward to, hopefully getting to a practice one of these days. I'll definitely be in Pittsburgh for that tournament. And aside from that, the videos are probably where you're going to hear the most from me. That'll do it. Good luck, everybody.